few years later, then I met Oppenheimer for the first time when I was in graduate school at Princeton. And he was very hospitable and tragic.
So there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit.
Out in the reactor began to sneak in people who wanted a radiation monitor behind every reactor operator. Finally, along came a rule maker that says, "Thou shalt not do that. You'll get burned." Oh, I didn't get burned when I did it last week.
Okay, so what do? There are 3 important steps that I want you to remember. Step 1, get inside fast and move away from the windows.
But you exceeded the limit. Well, where did this limit come from? Turns out that in 1934, the International Commission on Radiation Protection fabricated a limit for X-rays. It was no longer permissible to be burned by them, erythema, reddening of the skin. You now had to keep a limit called 0.2 of an hour per day. How much is that? Well, you've got to have one of these Beckman instruments to read it, and you have to keep time of exposure. You know, there are 4 requirements: the size of the source, therefore the strength of the source, the distance from the source, the time of exposure, and the intervening shielding to keep from getting burned.
Step 2, stay inside. Shut all doors and windows. Have a basement? Head there. If you were outside after the blast, get clean immediately.
Oh, fine. We've been doing this thing for years now, and we've never been burned. Why have we got these rules? And they says, yours is not to ask questions. Yours is to do and die. Don't you ask questions. If you do, you might disappear. Those who broke the rules didn't appear the next day. Military rule? Oh, yes. Absolute. What was your appeal? And people you were working with one day, when they weren't there the next day, you didn't go inquire why. You were just grateful you still had your work to do, and you kept right on doing it.
Step 3, stay tuned. Follow media for more information. And don't go outside until officials say it's safe. Until officials say it's safe.
I found out that I could do that. I showed some financial types one time that I could stir that pool with my bare hand and check out through the same radiation monitors they did without triggering it. GE didn't like it. I got a letter from them that says, "Thou shalt not tell financial types that you can swim in the pool, that you can stir it with your hand, because if they find that out, they will steal the inventory. They will know that the inventory can be stolen." Oh? And I says, hey, that's not what the ball game is at all. I'll bet you the ball game is something else. And in 1982, when the Congress passed the Nuclear Waste Policy Act of 1982, a guy by the name of Mo Udall, I don't know whether you people in Arizona have ever heard of him or not, authored that bill. The material he called waste is the reusable uranium fuel that I had been working on for 32 years. Needless to say, Mo Udall and I do not agree on whether that material is waste or not. The name of the game then is, who owns the plutonium and how much is it worth?
All right, you've got this.
You've been swimming in the pool and drinking the water. So I took this bottle in and set it on my desk, and who would suspect that the manager of safety and analytical service had a bottle of spent fuel pool water sitting on his desk, and he drank a glass of it every day.
This was unheard of.
Nobody ever did that crazy stunt before.
How has that affected you, Galen?
Well, as near as I can tell, it made me about 6'4" in my cowboy boots, 210 pounds, and really quite a nice fellow.
Sun up, sun down. I know now. You are the one. I know